Hello and welcome to our second episode of the Powder Burn podcast. I am Jordan McCormick with Delta Team Tactical, and joined with me is my co-host,
Patrick Barton.
And we're here with some very good friends of ours, both Jim and Matt from Unique ARs. And if you're not familiar with Unique ARs, they make, pun intended, some of the most unique ARs on the planet. They do some of the craziest designs, the craziest, coolest Cerakoting that you've ever seen. They got some really cool stuff, some very unique and original products and designs. We're going to get into hearing about them. We got a giveaway going with them. When you're hearing this, the giveaway will be live. So we got a giveaway going on with them with Predator body armor, adaptive tactical, and Mark Choppa. We're super excited about this one. Jim, I don't know if you have the rifle with you, but it is, if not, just check our website or their website. There'll be photos of it. We'll be able to show it to you.
We shipped that today, so those are
okay.
Both. One's on its way to you, and one's on its way down to Mr. Mark Choppa.
Okay, so let's jump into it. We want to get to know you guys a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess one more thing. If you haven't entered to win this giveaway, definitely we will have a banner to it on our homepage. I'm not speaking for you guys, but
yeah, we'll have one as well. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, either deltateamtactical.com. You guys are unique-ars.com.
Correct. Yep, you got it.
And so you can find it on either place, and we'll have links to social and all the stuff. So enter to win this giveaway. It'll be awesome. And
that rifle came out. I was super excited about that one. That thing looks awesome.
Mark Choppa called me last night, so I sent him a picture of it, and he lost his mind. He was so excited about it. So
yeah, it's super. It came out. Yeah. We had a good one this one, so it's awesome.
For sure. But let's get to know you guys. Jim, Matt, you guys have known each other for quite a long time.
We're cousins, so I've known Matt his entire life.
Oh, cool.
And I haven't known Jim his entire life because he's a little older than me, but
but he has known me his entire life. So
where'd you guys grow up?
Central California. Yeah. So the Sacramento area is where we grew up.
We actually grew up really close to each other, and not only were we family, but we were friends, and we spent a lot of time when we were real young doing family type stuff. But as we got older, Jim and his brother and my brother, we all spent a lot of time hanging out when we were 16 to 20 something years old, and attending each other's weddings, and just really had a long time, not only cousinship, but friendship. And so when we started this business, it was just kind of a natural to jump in and do something together, because that friendship and camaraderie was already there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How'd you guys, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in my early 20s, I moved up to Idaho, mostly to be a ski bum. And so I spent a lot of time skiing, snowboarding, snowmobiling, that kind of stuff, all the Idaho mountain stuff. And I started the business in my garage. I kind of built my own CNC machine and started originally doing woodworking with it, but I wanted to get into doing some metalworking stuff. And I was starting to look around at what would be a fun project to do. And there's my AR laying there on the table, and I thought, well, heck, there's so many people making components for this, but I don't see anybody making things that are like just ridiculously over the top. And that was back in the day when like OCC Chopper was going crazy with all that stuff. So I sat down in my garage and played with it for a while and figured out how to bring that machining into that level. Yep, you're looking at it right there. And so
this is what he means by over the top. If you're not familiar with them, they make this type of stuff. The Cerakote on this is spectacular too.
Yeah, and the machining
that battle worn finish, and the machining is so good.
Yeah, That's exactly what we're all about there.
So, did you have a design when you first started CNCing handguards?
I want to back up. You built your own CNC machine. Like how do you know how to do that?
I don't even know how to use one.
Well, I'm a bit of a nerd, I guess I could say. Yeah. So I like the computer stuff.
It's kind of implied, but
yeah, I get passionate about stuff and I go figure out how to make it happen. And so yeah, I started just literally in the garage tinkering with one machine. It could do one tool at a time. So I was making a design and then having to change tools out for each operation and reset everything up. It was very inefficient. I hand tapped thousands and thousands of holes to begin with when we first started because my machine wouldn't do tapping. You know, it was a lot of machining, a lot of time, but we knew we were doing something very different than anybody else out there. And you know, the social media was a little bit more of the Wild West back then. And so you could get on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. And yeah, it really took off. You know, I had Matt come up and visit me and one of my other cousins actually, and they really liked what I was doing and wanted to be part of what we were, you know, we kind of had a real serious discussion about, you know, is this a garage business or is this something that we want to try to figure out how to take to that next level? And, you know, what would it take to do that? And how can we make that happen? And Matt's been absolutely indispensable in helping manage the business side of what we do. I do a lot of the technical side, and he does almost all the business management and figuring out how to make sure everything gets paid. So it's been an awesome teamwork to get to do that. And yeah, we've really bootstrapped ourselves up right from the very beginning. We, you know, went from that little machine that I had that built in my garage. We bought a 25-year-old used machine and started going with that, and you know, with various ways of doing marketing and sales and all that stuff, we've just kind of kept growing and growing and growing. I think right now we're currently sitting at 12 employees that we have. And so, yeah, going from a garage business to something where we're doing this and full rifle builds, and you know, we're delivering hundreds of rifles a month now, so it's pretty awesome.
And let's be clear, we're not still using that machine that Jim built in his.
If it works,
we actually sold it.
Yeah, the one I built, we sold that. We bought two older machines. We've actually outgrew those ones years ago. We're running all brand new modern Haas mills. We have 3 4-axis mills, and we have a Haas CNC lathe that we run, a couple of manual machines that we do for a few operations on things that we'd run. And yeah, we have an awesome team of, you know, designers, machinists, Cerakoters, processing department, and you know, it takes a whole team to make it work. And man, we've been just very blessed. We live in a very small community, so you know, it's sometimes tough to get help in a small community like this. But I think because of the industry we're in, we definitely get a lot of people that just want to be involved in what it is we're doing and how cool we, you know, how cool of a product that we actually deliver. And so it's been great.
That's awesome. You had a question.
We'll come back to it.
Okay.
I was just curious, Matt. Sorry, I'm a little sick and getting over it a little bit. It's been a couple months.
Patrick has a newborn at home, and he just screams at night with his to show him how annoying that it is, and he loses his voice every day. Actually,
somehow.
I'm gonna make up a new reason why your voice is gone every episode. Every episode we'll come up with a new thing.
Yeah, funny.
But I was gonna ask Matt if he came to Idaho for this, or if you were just here already.
So when I got involved with the business, I started coming up and visiting more, and very quickly I brought my wife and children up, and I have 3 boys that are all kind of similar in age to Jim's 2 children. In fact, our oldest 2 boys are in business together, started their own business that they're off doing. And so we started coming up, and I think it was probably, we were coming up probably 4 times a year, staying with them and going out and doing the fun activities and stuff like that. And at the time, Jim's wife was a realtor. And one day when we were heading back out of town, she says, "Hey, you guys need to look at this house down the street from us." And we're like, "Well, we're not really in the market to buy another home." But she said, "No, you really need to come look at this house." And so long story short, we ended up buying that house in about 7 or 8 years ago. So I'm like part-time California, where my youngest is a junior in high school. So we're still kind of tied back to letting him get through school. And then spend about half my time, or at least 1 week a month, up in McCall with the team.
McCall's
so I'm kind of
pretty.
I'm back and forth.
I don't know how you could stay in California when you have the ability to, when McCall is calling.
He tries to run away all the time.
We're pretty blessed here, that's for sure. Matt's oldest son actually has come in and is working in the business with us. He's doing all of our shipping and receiving now for the company. So, he lives just right down the street from us in that nice house that Matt bought for him.
Nice. That was very generous of you.
You're going to get evicted at some point.
So how did you get into machining?
For me, yeah, I'm self-taught, so a lot of YouTube University.
I'm a graduate student there.
Yeah, me too. I keep working on another degree every day I can, I think.
Yeah.
But
credits.
yeah, it was really a very fortunate time in history when there was a lot of people making a lot of content on how to build and grow machining businesses. So there's a lot of creators out there that were really almost on my same journey, kind of step by step, going through stuff and sharing resources, and so there's a lot of community involved in the smaller time machining operations. So there's a lot of people that are getting more into this customized small production, where you don't have to have a $100 million facility to go out and make stuff. You can start in your garage and come up with a cool product and, go and build a business out of it. And so it's pretty phenomenal right now. And I just think we're going to see more and more of that kind of stuff happening as the technology gets easier to use. The equipment becomes better and better. The stuff that's happening now with things is just unbelievable. And yeah, so it's a really cool time to be part of I would call it the reindustrialization of America.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So what was your first thing that you built, or at least built and showed to, let's go with built and then built and showed to people, that was the genesis of Unique ARs?
Yeah, it's funny because I keep a bunch of that, like our very first stuff that came off when we were doing it, and oh my gosh, it was so rudimentary, like just so rudimentary. And you look at it and like I cut out the shape of a spider, and it wasn't, there was no detail to it. It was you almost couldn't even tell what it was. And and then we did a skull and some stuff like that was just really, really simple, putting names in it and stuff like that. We quickly developed a ability though to get more and more intricate and more detailed. And that first year was a lot of just R&D and production stuff, and we started that in 2011, and it wasn't until 2012 that we probably had enough designs that we felt comfortable with. We went to a local gun show and displayed there at a local gun show, and we had probably eight or 10 different designs that we had put together. So, and we got a tremendous amount of it's interesting the feedback we got, but it was really, really positive for the most part. Obviously some guys are like, it ain't black, it ain't for me. So
sure.
Well, and I think part of this process for us has always been allowing our customer base and fan base to help dictate what we do next. And in fact, I don't know, it was a couple of years ago, I came to Jim and I said, "Hey, I think we need to bring some of these old handguards back to our website." And we added a retro design section to our website because I was constantly getting inundated with requests for, I want the Hearts handguard, or I want the whatever. And we still, weekly we get those calls, even though, because I haven't made it easy enough to find on the website, I guess. But yeah, letting the customers tell us what they want to see has always been a really big thing.
Yeah, and we'll find we'll get multiple requests for something, and I don't know how it works, but all of a sudden, zombie things are going crazy, and so you make a couple zombie designs, and then you're moving hundreds and hundreds of them. Then that seems to go away, and you're like, okay, well, we're going to pull that zombie design off the website. We're done with it. This has got to be over. And sure enough, the minute you make that decision, you get 3 more calls for something in the zombie field. We're still making ones today. We have a customer who's done multiple of them. He's just going over the top, ridiculous rifle build, zombie party rifle. So,
And and this week, and I think a lot of this has to do with stuff kind of going viral on social media or getting some exposure, because like just this week, I had 4 different requests for Harley Quinn handguards from 4 different people. And yeah, we've done a bunch of them and some crazy ones, but they kind of circulate and things come through like that. And
how are 4 separate people making a decision this week that they need to call us up and see if they can get that going?
We see it as a retail of yours, and even with our own stuff, like with calibers, like I'll be looking at the performance of a caliber, and it's like, I think we should discontinue this one. And then the next week it blows up. Yeah. And it's like, you never know, but I've seen it, selling your stuff for years, where it's like, this design won't move, and all of a sudden the next week we sell dozens of them. Yeah. And it's like, we sold 3 in the 3 weeks prior to this month, and then we sold 24 the next, the last week of the, like, you can't predict it. Like, buying behavior is definitely an art and a science, and you need both sides. And just when you think you understand it, you get thrown, wrench gets thrown in the gears, and it just literally shakes you to the core of everything that you thought you knew.
Yeah, but that's actually been, we kind of have the strength of being able to hold on to past stuff. And because we're such a small, well, not small, but agile, I guess, manufacturer, we're able to turn that stuff around very quickly. So, once we've come up with something, we don't necessarily have to keep it stocked. We can deliver things pretty rapidly. So for us to have low inventory, but the ability to, deliver hundreds and hundreds of products a week, it really, and for us, it doesn't matter which design we're putting on the machine. The process all works the same. So we just really got to pick what's selling that week, and we can be delivering it. So.
Yeah, we've noticed that a bit here. We get requests for different builds, and then we're able to be agile and put them together real quick and have a new design for a whole new upper build.
Yeah, and that's kind of,
we feel glad we can deliver.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we really work at that as well.
So I've been in the firearms industry, since 2008, 2009, either full or part-time. There's not another company doing stuff anywhere, anything close to this.
No.
How the heck do you come up with your design ideas? Like,
well, it really is a team approach, I would say, and it's really a customer-based approach. By having us be able to do the ability to do a full custom build for somebody, where people can come in and show me a picture of a tattoo they have on their arm and want us to duplicate that. It really has given us a very depth of designs that we've done for people. We've done thousands and thousands of custom handguards. So it really lets us draw on that experience, I would say, of delivering for other customers. And then we go, man, that one was terrible. I would never do that for myself. And then the next one comes in and you're like, we need to make that a stock item because it was so cool. So you really get to pick and choose from that angle as well, and then just having the experience of what people are enjoying and what hits. You take somebody's custom that they did, you put it up on social media, you get a ton of comments and reviews or whatever on it, and then you can kind of just iterate from there.
That's great. And I mean, I've worked with you guys on doing a couple custom designs, and we'll come up with an idea and we turn it over to you guys, and it's like, just when I think we got this figured out, and then it's like I see the renderings coming back like, oh, we've totally missed the boat on that one.
Yeah, it's a real team approach to have a really good team. I try to be pretty critically involved with a lot of um, the finalization on those kinds of designs. And so, because I've seen all those ones come through and I get to play a part in all of that stuff, I can always throw in my little extra bit of expertise and knowledge that I've gained over these, 12 plus years of doing this. But, we try to hire artists more than we do, people who are mechanically involved with the stuff. I have machinists that can do the machining, but we try to get artists to do the design work and the Cerakote work. So it's a team approach. We'll sit down and, brainstorm ideas on, hey, these guys sent us over this. This is the sketch they gave us. I'll say, well, we can beat that. We can do better. That's a pretty much our approach to everything. Is like, okay, that was awesome. Let's step it one notch up, guys. And they always seem to step up to the plate and be like, okay, how about this? How about that? How about that? And I'll be honest with you, a lot of times, even when we're delivering stuff for you guys, we'll go through 3 or 4 iterations in-house before we ever even show you guys what it is we're doing, as far as even making a physical product sometimes, just because we want to make sure we've got something that amazing to be able to deliver.
And it's not only to the design elements, but then you have to factor in the structural integrity. Then you got to factor in you're cutting a V groove on a round tube in a machine so that you can lay Cerakote down on that. And so the margins and how if stuff's a positive versus a negative image, they all factor into our ability to deliver something that looks aesthetically like the one that you're holding in your hand. And so it's the design plus all the manufacturing aspects of things. And Jim just does an amazing job with that.
Yeah, and it really is that team approach, because the Cerakoters, they tell me, hey, I need to have this much surface area, or I've got to have this much distance between colors, and all those kinds of things, and we have to factor that in on the manufacturing side. So, there's a lot of thought goes into it, for sure.
Well, and I've been up to your factory up there in McCall, and I've been around. I've been working here for 6 years. Like, I've visited other manufacturers and seen how parts are made and stuff like that. And while the machines that you use are probably the same, the way you guys build it is like, I was flabbergasted. And we'll link up to it. We got to link up to, we did a video tour of like how your handguards are made on our YouTube channel. So we'll definitely link to that in the show notes, or, here or whatever corner it pops up in. Trent, if you can figure out how to do that, that would be great.
Working magic.
Yeah.
And it's super impressive. And when I was watching your Cerakoter and he's like, all right, I get laughed at when I tell people about this, and then he was showing me like different things, like I'm not going to give it all away, but the makeup sponges thing that he uses. He's like, people laugh at me when I tell them about this, but watch. And he's like showing me how he Cerakotes and like applies the color, and then he just uses a makeup sponge and removes the color. And it's like, I've seen Cerakoting done for years, but I've never seen Cerakoting done the way that he Cerakotes. Like there's good Cerakote artists, and then there's him. Like he's
amazing. And he's got a protege in there now, and we're actually bringing in a third guy. So we've got quite the team going on in there. Yeah.
Artists. I mean, that's really what it gets down to there.
They are.
And I do remember the first time I saw the charge come through on our Amazon account for makeup pads, and I asked Jim, I'm like, what in the world are we buying makeup pads for? Like, if I look at every little thing that comes through.
Quiet, that's our secret.
Don't say it too loud.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned...
we actually have done some videos and stuff on how they do some stuff. So.
Good.
And we're always, that's one of the things that we're always willing to help out with, is as other companies are doing builds and buying product from us, we try to pass along as much knowledge as we've gained and learned during our process, because yeah, we want to, and we do build an amazing product, but we want other people to be able to use our baseline of handguards or our custom line of handguards and be able to do the same thing we do.
That's something a lot of people aren't willing to share, so that's great.
Yeah, no, and that is one of the things for, I know you guys have a full dealer network that you guys sell through to, and so, even some of the things like sending over some of the files they need so they can figure out how to make plotters and stuff to put on it. We're always willing to do those kinds of projects with other builders as well too. So we really want to support the community out there. We want, people will know our handguards when they get them, and we don't care who actually coats it at the end. We do an amazing job. People will know who we are, but we want other people out there that are building rifles and doing that to be able to accomplish the same thing.
Well, and I'm going to put in a plug for you guys. Like, I get that this isn't everybody's cup of tea, personally, but if you're an industry guy, if you're running a gun shop, if you have a gun website, that type of thing, I can testify to the clickbait that these are. Put it on an email newsletter, put it on a website, put it on a social media post. Yeah, it's polarizing sometimes.
Absolutely.
If you're a gun show guy, you need a build with one of these on your table, because it'll bring people in. People lift it up, they check it out, they'll either tell you that they love it or they'll tell you that they hate it, and they're not afraid to do either.
Yep, absolutely.
But they're still there.
It's still, but then there is a market for it. They do sell, so this is marketing. I'm giving away my secrets now. This is marketing that generates revenue.
Absolutely.
And if you have this on your website, you have it on, whatever digital media you're doing, you have it on your gun show table, like, people will come to your table because there's nothing like that at the gun show.
Absolutely.
This is not another black gun.
Absolutely.
This is something totally, I don't want to overuse it. It's totally unique, and people will come and, I heard a quote. I'm an automotive fan. And I was listening to a car podcast one time, and they said something that resonated with me. And this is probably close to 15 years ago that I heard this, that the Dodge Viper sold a whole bunch of neons. Dealerships would order the Viper. They would put it in their showroom, and people would, I want to go check out that Viper. They would go do that, and they would buy a neon for themselves or for their kids or for, for whoever. Put in their company fleet, whatever. That was probably more of the Rams that would be, put into the company fleet. That's the economics behind, supercars.
Yeah.
Ford comes out with a new GT, brings a lot of people into their showroom, and they sell a lot of F-150s. From people coming into the showroom, developing a relationship with them, having a conversation. Oh, I like this guy. Oh, I'm looking for a new company truck. Boom. Right there. We got an F-150. So that's what this has done for us as a company. Yeah, Ford and Dodge sold the Vipers and the GTs, but this right here, like, this is ours, or at least one of ours, and it's been great for our business. Yeah, like, people are like, dude, I can't stand those, they're so ugly. Or then other guys are like, I need one of those. Like, it's the most polarizing product that I've ever been involved in selling, and I love it because it is so polarizing, and it's one of those things that, like, if you're an industry person, I'm putting the plug in for it. Like, you do have a customer for this. I don't care who you are. There's somebody out there, because there's those guys that buy those flashy cars, that, wear the flashy watches and stuff like that. Same guys want this.
Absolutely.
They want to be seen. They want people to see them with something that's totally different and out there, and they want to stand out. They don't want another black gun. They want to be noticed, and that's the customer for it. And I don't want to stand in those people's way. I want to make it easy for them to give me their money. That type of customer, and that's why we do as many of our builds on your stuff as what we do, and we showcase it disproportionately than we do to other things that are on our website, because it brings in a ton of traffic. Yeah, it sells they sell okay. Doesn't set any records for us as far as the sales go, but like it does set records for us by how many people clicked on that link and came to our website. And so I'm just putting the plug in for it. Like if you're an industry guy, like
absolutely no, that's we understand where we're at in the market. You know, we're that high end niche custom fabricator basically, and that's what we want to do. That's who we want to be. And yeah, we see the same thing with our independent dealer network that we work with. Matt can speak more to that about the put one up on the wall, and I'll let him tell you some of the stories he's had with people doing that.
You know, I was just actually thinking of one. I have a local dealer here, and I brought in our rifles to try and sign them up, and so we put a black rifle and a colored rifle. And I also wanted to see what it was like to do the paperwork in California, because all my guns are in Idaho, and that was a nightmare. I will never do that again. But I wanted to know what my customers were going to be going through if they were buying in California, so I did it. And so I put that Freebird rifle that you have the handguard there, and it's a black receiver set with that handguard, and I put that up, and then he had a black, I think like an ultralight hex. And he calls me about a month later. He goes, "Hey," he goes, I need that invoice for that Freebird rifle." I said, "You do?" He goes, "Yeah, I sold the other one 2 weeks ago, but I sold that one today." It's only been like maybe a month, maybe 4 weeks. He goes, "Yeah, everybody hates that colored rifle. They say it's too much." I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, except for the woman that bought it." I said, "Well, how many people walked over and looked at it and bought one of the black rifles because they saw the colored rifle? It drew their attention. It was too much, but we had that same handguard in an all black configuration rifle with that same really cool handguard on it." And it was kind of funny because it took a minute for me to kind of, I don't know, not explain to him, but to kind of have a conversation. He's like, "Well, did you understand what this did in terms of getting people over here? And you did sell it, right? The woman that walked in that loved it, she bought it." So it's kind of a win-win situation here. But yeah, it's a little bit of an education for me and kind of what he was dealing with and looking at. But ultimately, I think people's perception of our handguards, and we're talking about renderings and doing customs and stuff, and that's one thing that we love to do. Theme builds are out of this world. I mean, we've done Thanos rifles and Top Gun rifles and 300 rifles and all these other different themed rifles. But the ability to take something like that and do it is something that I think also makes us very different, because we can integrate kind of the whole concept all the way throughout the firearm.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I was going to say to all of that, no matter how you feel about this, whether you want it on your main rifle or not, it's a work of art. And people are going to take second, third, fourth look at it and just appreciate it, I think, regardless if they want to run it or not. So I really appreciate it myself. I was going to ask, with so much love that goes into each of these, how do you ensure quality? I mean, I'm looking at this one, I'm looking at that one, and they're perfect. How do you QC these and make sure they're all amazing?
Every team member in our building is part of the QC process. So everybody has a stage that they're at. They got to make sure it's good enough. We basically say the next person in line is your customer, and you've got to make sure you're delivering a good product to your customer. So, the machinist pulls it off the machine. They have a double check. They want to make sure before it goes back into our processing department that it's not going to get kicked back to them. So, they're making sure that their customer in the processing department is getting a good product. So we look at that all the way down the line, and that's how we continually deliver a good product.
What are the biggest challenges you guys are facing in the industry right now?
I would say for us, I mean, I don't know, Matt, I think you're probably a better person to answer that question. You're on with our dealers and our network all the time. I mean, it really seems to be a little bit of that, just from my point of view, that perception of what it is that we're delivering. When you get it in hand, it's definitely different than seeing it on the website. And I think that's been our biggest challenge. You feel the product in your hand and you're like, this is not a piece of plastic. This is a fully functional, everything we do is, you could run it all day long and it would work amazingly. So, but Matt, what do you see as our challenges?
I think for us, it just kind of falls in line with the rest of the industry. It's just the industry fluctuations in terms of market and what people are buying. And those changes in trends is something that just always impacts a company like ours. we are Unique ARs, but we also recognize it's important to be able to do other things in the firearms market. We are working on developing actually a bolt action rifle that's going to be able to accept that same handguard and incorporate the design through the chassis and the buttstock. And so we're really excited about that. We're really close to having the first couple of rifles available, which our main sales rep, Anthony, has told me he's got dibs on selling the first two because he already has customers that want them. But I think being able to adapt and be outside of just the AR arena is really important. And I think for us, the other big challenge, and I know that Jordan, we've talked about this before, it's just this brand recognition. It's so difficult as a smaller, medium-sized company to build enough brand recognition. And so how we market, where we market, our spend on marketing, being a very, again, as a smaller manufacturer, our bandwidth and ability to do that and put big dollars into that is very difficult. So we've really looked through partnerships, like working with some of the giveaways we've done with you and some of the social media people, like I'll just throw out there like Black Rambo and the Mark Choppa one we're doing. Those have been great opportunities for us to get our name out there. We also have a partnership with the NRA, and we are working in, we're up to probably 15 different states to do rifle builds for the Friends of NRA raffles and banquets that they have going on. And that's been super helpful for us to get our brand out there and that recognition. So that I would say is the other thing. It's just market swings in terms of spend and where people's discretionary dollars are going, as well as just brand recognition.
I mean, as a retailer, we're a little bit more immune to the trends because we have a variety of products. Yeah, like it just, okay, we were doing 100 a month of this, now we're doing 50, but now this other thing we were doing 50 a month, now we're doing 200. Like I understand how those swings go, but being on the retail side, we're a little bit more immune to it than on the manufacturing side. But I know exactly what you mean with the marketing spend, because with the places that we're like, there's so many restrictions on firearms companies of where we can market that you run the risk of throwing dollars into an echo chamber where you're putting money into an area where people already know you and stuff like that. And that's the hard part, is like figuring out where to spend the dollars to try to acquire new customers. And, as a retailer, I'm very concerned about where we put the money and being the ability to track that and trace that. And that's why we like collaborating with people like you guys. Like we've done more giveaways with you guys than any other company. I don't know if you know this. I spent I was working at Action Target for a while. I left there and I went and I worked in the water sports industry. And I started doing this on the side, and my boss offered me a full-time job. And so I went to lunch with Action Target's marketing director, because they blew up. Their email list blew up at the time. And I'm like, how did you do that? And he told me collaborative giveaways. And I tried for almost a year to find a collaborative giveaway partner, starting off doing this. And you guys were the first ones that said yes. And so, and this has been something that's been amazing for our business as far as lead acquisition, revenue from those leads and stuff like that. As a sales and marketing guy, I've never done anything that's produced this type of ROI. I wish I wish the revenue that it produced were bigger, but like percentage spent, dollars spent versus dollars returned, there's nothing. I mean, you've worked in marketing as well. Yeah. There's nothing that I've done that we can trace this to, and this produced this type of ROI, and it's fun. Like that's part of the motivation for me, is like I get to work with guys like you, with Mark Choppa. Our first episode and that's why we did this podcast, is like I started to get to know people like you guys. Like Jim and I have been mountain biking together. We've gone to dinner when he was in town. Like his sons come over and done some film work, and we've hung out at SHOT Show. Like and I'm like, these people are awesome, and I want to create a platform for these people to tell their stories when we're doing these collaborations, because like that's the whole point of the Powder Burn podcast right now.
That's awesome.
It is like more people need to know your story. Like more people need to know that and check out like what you guys do. And that's exactly how I felt about Foxtrot Mike when we were interviewing him. Like, this guy's awesome. And like, this story's amazing. Like, let's tell this.
Yeah, we love being involved in that collaboration stuff.
Yeah, and it's so much fun. And like, one of the first ones, I think it was the third one that we did was with Mountain Ops.
Yeah.
And I was out, how that came about is I was out shooting with those guys. And I'm like, hey, we want to do a collaborative giveaway with you. Yeah, our lawyers aren't doing that. We're giving away a Raptor right now. Like, you know, a $1,000 to $2,000 gun doesn't really compete with a $80,000 truck. And then I showed them your guys' designs. I'm like, what if we did this with Mountain Ops logo on it? And they were like, oh, this needs to happen.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, it did. And like, that was like, at the time, that was the biggest giveaway that we had done that actually produced stuff. And it was so cool. But I kind of went off on a soapbox tangent there that I didn't mean to. I want to hear your guys' story, but
no,
but
I
wanted to bring some of these into context that you guys might not know my side of it. But I want to talk like, what are your most popular designs right now? Yeah. Or if you have anything to add to that, please feel free.
Yeah, no, I think doing that collaborative stuff has been just, for us, we love being involved in those kinds of projects, you know, and just getting to meet more and different people in the industry. And, you know, I think what we do is exactly tailored for like that, like what you're saying, is helping other people promote their brand. I think is like, it's 100% exactly what we can help you guys, anybody accomplish. So we're just trying to figure out how to get more involved with that scenario. You know, we love doing that project with Mountain Ops. We like to do it with anybody actually, because I think it's super fun and creative, and just a different way to get everybody to, you know, all boats rise higher when you're working together, I guess. Yeah, Matt, what's our most popular design right now?
What are your designs that are most popular?
You mean like today, this week, this month? It changes all the time, like Jim was saying earlier. But that our most popular design is going to be our new We the People one that we're launching with this giveaway. I can absolutely guarantee it, because I've already shopped it around to some of our dealers, and people are really, really, really big on that. Plus, it has some of that theme that we've been pushing out there for the NRA rifles this year, and people are just going crazy for them. So I know that that's going to be. But our We the People has historically been one of our more popular handguards. Our Freedom handguard that you see there with multicolors, that's one of our more popular designs. We sell a heck of a lot of those. Our ultralight hex, it's one of the lightest all aluminum handguards out there on the market, and it looks cool. Yeah, it's a really, really cool design. Feels really good in the hand. So yeah, I think, and you know, part of this is we're always trying to come out with something new. Always looking to say what doesn't work, what needs to be moved to our retro design, because people are still going to buy it, but we want to make people find the things that they're looking for more easily. It's crazy, stuff like the Baconator, or we don't
just your most polarizing one internally here.
We sell a heck of a lot of those.
It's a great debate, though. Yeah.
You know, it goes really good with that Warthog lower. That's we sell a heck of a lot of those, and
it is true. We do a lot of those builds together with the Warthog lower. It seems like
a lot of people make AR pistols, but you make one that looks like a rattlesnake with the rattlesnake all across the back of it, or a dragon that when you shoot it at dusk really looks like a dragon breathing fire. So those are become very popular too. Our Dragon Fire handguard, our Timber Rattler handguard. So some of the stuff that was more as a themed pistol build with a couple of different colors in it, we sell those handguards individually, and we sell quite a few of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that we've done in the past Making America Great and Keeping America Great handguard, and so we're back in that season again. We're on an election year cycle, so we'll probably do a little bit of marketing with Keeping America Great and Making America Great. Now I'm guessing we'll get quite a bit of sell through on those two designs as well.
That's great.
Yeah,
What
in
do you-
2016, that was one of our leading things, and in 2020 it jumped back up again. So here we are, 2024. We'll probably jump right back up towards the top again as well.
I think so.
Yeah.
So this might be
I
the
mean,
same
not that we're
answer.
trying to be political or anything, but we do have an FJB rifle too.
Yeah.
You represent both sides.
Equality.
You got
Yes,
one.
yeah.
You got ones for both candidates there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're equal opportunity.
Yeah.
There you go. I was gonna ask, and this might be the same answer, but what are your favorite designs you've ever done?
Oh, that's really hard. Every time I think, man, that's the top of the one. We seem to get something that just kind of outdoes it the next time around. So I really have a hard time with deciding what it is. I think one of my favorite ones is actually our Wicked Wings design for our stock items. I really like that look and the feel of that one. So that's one of my faves.
I had one here or something.
I say I have that one on my desk right now.
Yeah.
You can edit this part out if you want to, but I am never surprised by what people request. And we had a request for male genitalia on a handguard last week or 2 weeks ago. And I called Jim up. I'm like, hey, I mean, we want to make what people want. And we won't do anything that is, anti-law enforcement, anti-military, anything like that. Like, we try and let people have their free reign. But when it comes to our company and our values, what we stand up for, there are some limits out there in terms of that. But he goes, yeah, Matt, this is like the 4th or 5th request we've had for this type of handguard. And I'm like, I had no idea. I hadn't seen the other one. So we get crazy requests.
Yeah. I don't know why people do it. I really think it's maybe a joke for their friends. They're doing a build for their friends. So, a handful of D's is what they wanted. So
yeah. So what's next for, we've been going almost an hour here. We'll wrap it up here shortly. I want to be respectful of your time, but what's next for Unique ARs products wise? Or period. What's next for Unique ARs? You have new product?
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything that we've privately talked about. You're like, we're not ready to do that yet. So
we like Matt was saying, we've got the chassis system that we are working with getting put together and out. We wanted to be able to do that where it was a complete rifle. So we've taken a little bit longer time getting the action and barrel and making sure we have everything the way we want it together and done. So we're going to be, hopefully, by the end of summer, we'll be selling those. And then we've also been internally working with doing the Glock slide design.
Okay, you are announcing that. That is because that was what we had talked about.
Yeah. So we're not quite there yet. We're just making sure that we can hit the specs and the quality of what it is that we're used to producing and delivering, and still be able to do it innovatively enough. We're getting things dialed in. We're feeling pretty good about it, but it'll probably be by the end of the year we'll be having those available.
So on the bolt gun, is that going to be, if you don't want to say yet, that's fine, but is that going to be like on the Remington 700 platform or?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So it'll take like a Remington bolt or something compatible.
We've actually been working with another manufacturer to OEM manufacture the actual action for us. Okay. So it's going to be based on the 700 type action, but it's going to be a little bit different design. So we've been just making sure we got everything the way we want it done. This other company that we're working with, they have a lot of experience in that area, and we just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page and making sure we're delivering the kind of quality that we're used to delivering.
Do you have anything else for them?
I mean, I could go on for forever.
Yeah, I know.
But to be respectful of your time, I don't really think so. I'm so happy we got to have this conversation and talk about all the positivity and what makes Unique AR unique. And I'm really excited for this giveaway we have going on all through March.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
It'll be great.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah. And I've seen the rifle. We'll have, by the time this podcast airs, this will be on the, just check out either of our websites. You'll be able to link to it. We'll have videos of it. Like, it'll be awesome. In fact, Choppa's going to be doing some, he's going to send it. He has a new range.
Oh,
And
okay.
so he's going to be
Awesome.
taking the gun out to his range and filming some stuff for us and send it to us, and our crew will edit it. I haven't told them that yet. I talked to, he called me late last night, so I haven't talked to anybody yet about it. So,
Okay.
I'm
Like
letting
said,
you guys know right now. So we'll have some cool content. Definitely check back. Keep checking the website. We'll be linking to those videos, and content and stuff like that. Like, follow, subscribe. Definitely check out Unique ARs.
Yeah, thank you.
Jim, is there any words in parting that you guys want to leave? Anything, any stories you want to tell or anything before we sign off here?
Hey, quiet, Matt.
Yeah, now that I got I thank you for the opportunity. We really have enjoyed our partnership with you over the years, and I know we got a lot of stuff going on right now, and we love doing it. Working through this process, coming up with the new designs, working with those influencers, and just viewing it in collaboration makes it so rewarding. And we're looking forward to seeing how this giveaway unfolds. And like they were saying before, log on, make sure you sign up for the giveaway. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, this will be a really cool one. So thank you guys.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. And we will be talking soon. So
Awesome. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you for your time and telling your story. So thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Yep.